All right, mediocre. I thought I was running the intro tonight, but it looks like I didn't run the intro, so I think we should be live. Welcome. How you doing? Happy
I'm good.
Thursday.
I'm good. And you had to get ready. I seen that real quick. I'm like, oh,
I, I thought I hit the button to run the 1 minute video intro, and then the next thing I noticed it said you're live. Oh man. Hey guys, how are y'all doing tonight? WOPR in the house, mediocre in the house, George, J Dog, Diana, Mel
hold on,
Mills,
hold on.
Jersey Recycler. Hold on, you said? What's up? Are you with me, mediocre? He was having some internet connectivity.
I had to mute. I had to mute the stream in the background.
Okay.
It was playing in the background. I'm like, oh shit! I forgot my YouTube channel is open.
Excuse me while I pour my beer here. It is Thursday night, after all.
Yeah, I got a. I'm trying this tonight, everybody. I'm not really a fan.
Does that say Watchet, like Massachusetts, but with a W?
Massachusetts, yeah.
Massachusetts. I can barely say that sober, mediocre. Yeah, I want you to test me in an hour when we're done with this live stream.
Yeah, right.
Massachusetts.
I don't even know where this came from. Never heard of the joint.
I am having the Shiner Desert Mirage made with cactus
blueberry,
cactus
but
water.
It doesn't taste nothing like blueberry. And I got the Barstool Sports mug.
Cheers. We're not watching Roaring Kitty tonight. We're just gonna kind of talk about this crazy day, this crazy week. I want to hear what you guys in the audience think about everything that went down today. We had the GameStop meeting, mediocre, where they kept us on hold for almost an hour and then canceled the meeting because they were being attacked by the Russians, computer share, or maybe just their websites held together with bubble gum and string. I don't know. But they weren't expecting that many people to show up. I don't know. You could have maybe watched the Roaring Kitty live stream. You could have watched the Roaring Kitty live stream to figure out how many people were going to tune in to this annual shareholder meeting. But whatever happened, their website got overwhelmed. So it is rescheduled. If I'm not mistaken, I posted it in my Discord for Monday after hours. Is that right? No, Monday at 11:30 Central, June 17th. All right. So we were streaming it in the Discord in one of the voice chats, and I'll probably do that on Monday again. Yeah, Filthiness says, nice shirt. This is my HODL shirt. Diamond hands, baby. I'm still holding my GameStop, mediocre. Still holding my GameStop. Can you fucking believe it? Roaring Kitty and my average, our cost basis is now about the same on GameStop. So, and I think he's in a pretty safe position. I was talking to a lot of people about what could happen now that let's just say he sold or exercised his shares, and I don't really care. But now that he did that, his cost basis went up, his call options are gone, and his cash is down considerably. What do you think happened, mediocre?
I don't want to.
Just say it. We tell the truth here. What do you think? It's just your opinion. Nobody's going to care.
He was smart enough to pull his money out before he fucking lost it. That's what I think.
Yeah, because those call options were getting theta burned, and nobody knows with certainty what's going to happen with the price in the next 6 trading days, right?
Yeah.
So the logical thing to do, the smart thing to do, would be to get rid of those, lock in some profits, and I wasn't sure what he would do once he locked in the profits, but we've been talking about that, right? You and me and many other people, that he needs to fucking dump those call options before they're not worth anything. So
And I
he
was
did.
rooting for him.
He
I
did.
was rooting for him to succeed, Tony, and he did. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad he didn't lose $68 million fucking dollars.
Yes, that would have been very upsetting to me. It would have hurt my heart to watch a fellow investor lose $68 million. It's happened to the best of us, though, mediocre.
Yes.
But
Yes.
the interesting thing, I think, is that he showed his commitment to the play by almost doubling down on his share position, increasing it from 5 million to 9 million and 1,000, which I didn't know this, but someone posted a Ryan Cohen 13D from 2021. And at one point, Ryan Cohen had 9,001,000 shares. Apparently, I can pull it up on Twitter if y'all want to see that. Really? So 9 million shares, about 2% of the outstanding.
Well, Tony, let's put a cheers out to Roaring Kitty on getting this
cheers, Keith.
That's right.
I love the balls on that guy, man. That's a gutsy move. 9 million shares. But here's what I think. I was talking about the price, mediocre. Like, why am I still holding it $23? Every time it goes to 30, man, I want to punch that sell button so quick and just lock it in and wait for it to come back down, rinse and repeat. But I still keep thinking, if we could get some of these unknowns out of the way, I'd like to see her run for a full week and see what happens. Whether it's down or up, I don't know. But the possibility of something interesting happening once some of the unknowns are out of the way is what has kept me holding instead of just trading out of it. So the call options are off the table now. He's fully loaded with 9 million shares. How do you think people are going to react to that? The retail traders. What do you think the psychology around this is going to be?
Oh, it's going to be bullish for sure. I mean,
why? No, retail bullish.
They love them, and they may not understand the options side of it. Not all of them. I'm not saying some of them obviously do, but maybe a lot of them don't really understand the options thing. But he was in trouble in my view of his options trade there.
It is bullish. I'm just teasing, but it is funny. No matter what happens, it's always bullish. When he exits his position, it'll be bullish.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Everything's bullish.
Everything's bullish.
But when he took the money though and added the shares, yeah, I like it. He's got stones, man. And I think his dollar cost average, because I looked at that, and I think his dollar cost average where he's sitting, he's pretty okay. You know what I mean? That's my thought of it, to be honest with people. So.
MD says he can sell 90,000 covered calls at $30 strike and generate $15 million this week. Imagine selling covered calls and making pennies, mediocre.
Imagine.
$15 million worth of pennies. This is why we laugh.
Tony, I only make fucking pennies, buddy.
Only pennies. we laugh at people that give us they give us a hard time for selling covered calls. You're just making pennies. Okay. You don't know how many shares anybody has, but if you start adding up pennies times hundreds of shares times multiples of contracts, just like Mr. Kitty there, $15 million a week. And I haven't independently verified that number, but that wouldn't surprise me. GameStop pays some pretty fat premium on covered calls.
Oh, absolutely. I made some money on it a few weeks ago. Almost 10 G's, baby.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Chris Harris says if Roaring Kitty takes a dump, it's bullish, mediocre. It was in the shape of a GME. And he posted a picture on Twitter. Bullish. What else did I want to say? We talked about the meeting. That was kind of interesting. Roaring Kitty. There was a lot of debate yesterday. Remember the last night when we were live streaming, people really were pushing this theory of a wash sale. And from what I understand of that, and I heard some people actually talking about it on YouTube, these aren't Roaring Kitty's trades. These are hedge funds that, guys, I'm using my other voice to mock somebody for a second. These aren't Roaring Kitties trades. These are hedge funds creating fake trades to make you think that he's selling. It's like, why do you guys do that? Why do you go through so many gyrations to create fantasies in your head to explain, to those of us that are unemotional and actual traders, what is a very obvious logical thing? The volume indicated he was probably selling or exercising the shares. It's okay. Just let the man do what he wants. Wait till the next day. You'll find out. We don't need to spend all night creating stories and theories and trying to figure it out. At the end of the day, did it matter?
I already knew what happened based on the fact of what he had in his account. I could see his portfolio, so I know what he could do for a trade. It's just that simple. I didn't go out telling everybody, but were we wrong?
I don't mind people creating theories, but when they go on live streams and stuff, oh, this is the hedge funds trying to trick you, with such conviction. I don't know if they're trying to fool themselves or fool their audience. What do you think it is, Mediocre?
I think they're just clueless on what they're talking about.
Ooh, that's a third option. Clueless on what they're talking about. Yeah.
And so I pay them no mind, to be totally honest with you. And they could hate me all day. You could say whatever you want about me. I don't give a shit. You're never going to catch me even. I won't even respond to you. How's that?
Jack Wolf says, Tony, do you want an easy guitar lesson? Not right at the moment, but if you have a link to send me one, absolutely. I need to set a goal to play a song on a live stream by the end of this year. And I need to have a target, Mediocre. We could just sit here and I could strum some chords. Exercise the calls, Roaring Kitty. Exercise them. Do it. You want to. Theta burn is kicking in, Mitch.
When you know options, that's what's funny. And like the Greeks and what's going to happen. It's like, it's obvious what has to happen.
It's obvious to us, Mediocre, because we agonize over this stuff every day. Like we're talking about options, 8 hours a day, every day of the week. And we got these other people on YouTube creating fantasy theories that don't even trade options. They get mad if you do it. They certainly shouldn't be talking about things like wash sales or what the hedge funds are doing to trick you. Just wait till the morning. Wait till the morning and let's look at the open interest update. And then we don't have to create fantasy stories. It's really that simple.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that
Tony, if they did that, they wouldn't get views.
They wouldn't get views. Yeah. Couldn't pump up your audience, get them all excited and make them buy more at overvalued price.
Mm-hmm.
I say that tongue in cheek. I want y'all to buy. Buy away. I need to sell up here a little bit. It's a little bit higher. Just tongue in cheek here. But my cost basis is near Roaring Kitties, and I'm not holding $4,000 a share. That's all I want to say. What were you going to say about Charles? What? Mediocre? You still with us? Charles, he says.
Say something to Charlie's comment that
you must have some lag there. Yeah, you must have lag. Charles says, "Are you out of GME completely?" I'm not. I'm not out of GME. I still have my shares. I'm waiting. I'd like to get over $34 a share. I don't know if I will, but that's kind of like my minimum I'd like to sell at. It got really close. That'd be a decent trade for me for a week. But who knows? It could go to, with all of the unknowns that was going on, I was thinking we could see $40 possibly. So I'm not trying to sell too quick, but I'm trying to extract the maximum gains and then wait for it to come back down, rinse and repeat.
I was going to respond to Charles and tell him I haven't had GameStop. I was selling puts prior to this last run up where I made a bunch of money.
You were
Like a 20
selling puts just to collect premium, and you were selecting a strike that if you got exercise, you would have been okay buying the shares at that price, right?
I would still be in it today. Yeah, I would have kept it. I probably would be happy.
And I think at the time you were selling those puts, I was not doing that because like I was thinking I don't want to buy them at that price. I forget what strike you were looking at.
$20.
It was the
same strike he's got.
Yeah. It was the timing of when you were doing it. I wasn't convinced to buy GameStop at that point. But I did buy it last week, sold on Thursday night and Friday morning, and then bought back in this week. So I'm still holding.
It was like immediately after those contracts closed, it started to move up.
I want to be clear for anybody that's like tuning into this channel. We're not like hold GameStop to 1,000. That is not this channel. We're just trying to trade it.
No, I trade it. We trade every day.
I've been trading GameStop on momentum for 2 years now since the 4-for-1 split. I tried the whole buy and hold thing, and then I looked at the financials and the chart and the trajectory of the company, and I was like, that is not going to be a good play over the next couple of years. And I was right. It only has gone down. So I've just been hopping in and out when the timing was convenient. At some point, I could see myself being a long-term GameStop holder, especially now, right? Mediocre. The calculus is starting to change more in the company's favor with what do they have now? $4 billion?
I mean,
$4 billion on the balance sheet.
I mean,
I want to clear up. Can I
Yeah.
clear up a couple of things? A lot of misinformation that's going out there that I see on social media. I hear people say that I have a $7 price target. Let's just be very clear, because there are people that will lie to you guys, hoping you don't watch my videos to actually hear what I do say. I've never said I had a $7 price target. Mediocre, what was my price target that we've talked about for the last year for GameStop?
We thought it could get down to $10.
We thought it could get down to $10. Did it get to $10? Yes, it did.
It did.
Yeah. I said at the beginning of this year, I had a price target of $10, which it hit. Anyone who's telling you I had a $7 price target is a liar. Find the video, find the timestamp. Otherwise, you, sir, are a liar. Now, one thing that I talk with you guys about is I'm a momentum trader in one bucket. I'm a value investor in another bucket. Sometimes those buckets intersect on the same stock. You got to know which point in the play you're in. But even if you're momentum trading, like I am right now and last week, buy low into excitement, sell, it's still useful to know what is the fair value price of the stock. And people that don't really understand finance, but they do YouTube, they get confused really easily, Mediocre, when I talk about a fair value price months ago of GameStop being $7. That was the book value plus a little bit of adder for management. That's not a price target. That's a fair value evaluation based on any rational financial ratios. Even the professionals have come up with it. I've looked at it 6 different ways from Sunday, came up with the same value for GameStop. That was not my price target. If it was, when I bet people and I had bets, which I won, I would have bet them $7. What did I bet them? I bet them $10, and I won that bet. I'm not stupid enough to say it would go down to $7. So don't let people lie to you. They do it every day. Mediocre just lost his connection. They do it every day. They lie about what I say because they don't want you watching this channel. We are here giving you guys rational, good information. And maybe they just don't understand what fair value means. It's a financial analysis using traditional financial ratios, looking at return on assets, return on equity, return on invested capital, price to earnings, price to book, price to sales, a whole host of different things. Discounted cash flows if you could, which you can't with GameStop. But we use these analysis to come up with what is Wall Street. I know what we think of the play, but what is Wall Street thinking of the play? Because they are the ones with the money to drive it down. And I want to understand what they're thinking. I want you guys to understand what they're thinking.
I don't
so
think
that
any of
you
the
know
other
what
people
you're up against.
talk about that, Tony. That's the thing, right?
You don't think that they're what?
I don't think the other channels are talking about they don't care about the short thesis. They don't want to hear it.
Well,
I think that's part of the problem.
They don't even understand it. Like they couldn't even begin to work out a formula to oh yeah, that $7 actually makes sense. Like pull out your finance freshman year college textbook. You're like, holy fuck, these fuckers are right. Now, guys, I want to be clear. Now, with $4 billion on the balance sheet, the fair value is not $7 anymore. Just book value alone is going to be close to 11, and I'm going to give them management an even heftier premium above book value, and say that roughly, I think that shorting it under $18 is lunacy right now.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of dry powder and unknowns in Ryan Cohen's hands. I don't know what he's going to do. Like a very strict financial analysis would say the company's worth 11 to 13 bucks because they have no earnings, really. Nothing worth mentioning. And most of your value comes from earnings, not cash on the balance sheet. So go ahead.
I still want to get in under where Kitty's at, to be honest with you, right? Like
I would too. I'd love to buy at 18 mediocre.
Yeah. You know,
I think that'd be a really risk-free buy for my style. For a momentum trade.
So
anyhow, hopefully that kind of makes sense to you guys. Why I talk about different numbers. Don't confuse a fair value discussion with a price target, please. That might be Wall Street's price target. I'm just explaining it to you so you can understand it. Doesn't mean that it's my price target. If you want to know what my price target is, just ask me. And right now, I think that I feel like 18 is a pretty safe floor. I just think if you were short, you'd be dumb to short it under 18 bucks, because all Ryan Cohen's got to do is drop some news about an acquisition or buying Bitcoin or what have you, and this thing could take off. If it got dropped all the way down to 18 and he dropped some news, I think the shorts could get screwed really, really easy. So Sufyan says, have you ever considered calculating the value of GameStop based on discounted cash flows? Yeah, I have, Sufyan, but they don't have cash flows. That's the problem. We'd have to make some assumptions about future cash flows. And how do I assume what their future cash flows are when I don't know what their plan is? But guys, this company, you can fact check me. This is what no one on a GameStop YouTube channel will tell you. This company, whether you're looking at trailing 12 months, whether you're looking at last quarter or you're looking at 2023, there's a slight difference between. Wait, have we got one more? Yeah, we got one more quarter. We just got Q1. Trailing 12 months would be included Q1. 2023 would be back one quarter for 4 quarters. No matter what time frame you're looking at, operational income and operational cash flow are both negative on any time measurement. So discounted cash flow model doesn't work unless you're just want to go out and estimate everything. And we could do that. I've already been starting. Is that even proper grammar? I already started doing some estimates of if Ryan Cohen and the board did X, Y, and Z and brought in X, Y, or Z income, what would the new fair valuation be? And maybe I'll talk about that on an upcoming video. That's the logical thing to do right now. If you're a finance guy, start doing some modeling. Now they've got $4 billion. It's not really interesting on the balance sheet. I know people say it is. It's not. They have to put it to work. Return on assets, return on equity, return on invested capital, real price to earnings, heavy on the E, on the PE ratio. It's all shit right now. But if they put it to work and they change all those ratios, we could start coming up with a new, considerably higher fair valuation, fair value price for GameStop. But right now, all we can do is guess. And I think it's fine. It's fine to model stuff out. What do you think, Mediocre?
I just want to know what kind of dinner you're having this week. You know.
Ask me on Friday night. I scheduled a live stream for Friday night to go through some more Roaring Kitty. I was telling Mediocre, you guys need to check in with me at the end of the week and ask me, hey Tony, how was your trading this week? Was it a chicken thigh family pack week, or was it a ribeye family pack week? Because I always, when I go grocery shopping, it doesn't matter how much I have in my account, my trading account, my checking account. Just like mentally, I know how my actual trading, my cash flow went that week. We're not looking at the balance sheet, Mediocre. We're looking at cash flow. If it was a bad cash flow week, I'm like, we got to go with chicken thighs this week.
I love it.
Oh, man. Sufjan, does that make sense? My answer to you about the discounted cash flow. And by the way, Sufjan, I pulled out my book, The Intelligent Investor, which is a fantastic book that you guys probably should read, but most of y'all probably don't want to. Trying to get my thoughts together, like what is the nicest way that I can explain to these people how I look at GameStop as a value investor, because I hear people twist my words, and I got to assume, Mediocre, they're doing it out of malice because they don't want their viewers to learn. Don't listen to Tony. He's got a $7 price target. That's horseshit. But they don't want you over here learning because it rug pulls all of the bad information they're putting out. Here's a sample of what I heard this week, Mediocre. GameStop's trading at 50% of book value. It's at $30. Book value is 11. It's trading at 50% of book value. I'm like, you can't even get your fractions and percentages right. What's 50% of $11, Mediocre?
What's 50% of $11?
Yeah.
$5.50.
Exactly. But we got GameStop YouTubers who think they're financial experts telling people, guys, GameStop's look at the price, guys. It's $30. It's trading at 50% of book value. I'm like, oh, just stop. It's 2.5x book value, not 50%. Dummies. Every day. This wasn't
They don't
a
realize, Tony, that we do math all fucking day.
This was not a one-time mistake. I'd forgive someone a one-time mistake, but they repeat this and show their ignorance. And I mean that in the nicest way. I don't think they're dumb people. They just don't know what they're talking about. They repeat their ignorance day after day after day. I'm just a humble suggestion from you to me. Say 2.5 book value. Then you're mathematically correct. Half, 50% of book value would be $5.50, and clearly GameStop's not trading at $5.50. So much love. I like to help out my YouTube brothers. I hate to see you make basic mistakes like that. But then we got to get into, Mediocre, why book value doesn't fucking matter. Like Sufjan said in the comments there, guys, book value, cash on the balance sheet is irrelevant to anybody on Wall Street right now. It's a great talking point for a pumper channel.
Stupid chair.
And it's a fantastic amount of ammunition for management. It's a beautiful thing having $4 billion on the balance sheet and no debt. This is a perfect setup. Don't twist what I'm saying. But for valuation, to try and say Best Buy's trading at five times book. So therefore GameStop should be at $55. No. Nope. Best Buy is trading at a PE ratio of 15 based on its earnings. A secondary metric that is just tagging along is the book value. It's not trading at 5x book because their book value is important to anybody on Wall Street. Earnings, profits is what is important. That's why Best Buy is trading at, what is it, $80 or something, 83? Because it's a very reasonable ratio off of their earnings. 87
That's why
bucks.
when you enter a position, you want the company to increase in value, and it's going to increase in value because the company makes more money.
Profits, yeah. Best Buy's trading at 87 bucks, which is a PE ratio of 15. Very reasonable because they actually have profits every quarter. And this is where GameStop is overvalued at the moment, but the power is in the hands of management to now change that. So I'm not trying to be negative on GameStop. They have a perfect setup. I get irritated by people lying to folks on YouTube about metrics because, hey, if instead of talking about book value, why don't you guys on the GameStop channels do an analysis for me of ROA, ROE, ROIC, and discounted cash flows? See what price you come up with then. I dare you.
Sparky, I don't think you're wrong either, brother.
What's Sparky got to say?
He says, I don't think Roaring Kitty may oh, hold on, I can't see.
I don't think RK may a public donation of his own equity.
There you go. Oh, you put it up.
He traded his big gains very poorly. Mediocre, did you tell this guy what to say?
Not at all, Tony.
I mean, Sparky, we were having this exact conversation an hour ago. Mediocre, I want you to leave the name out to protect the innocent, but someone in the Discord told you a comment about Roaring Kitty's options trading. Can you just give us the gist without revealing a name just to protect the innocent?
I really don't want to do it on live, but I guess I will because we're for the people.
We're here to help people learn.
I did not say this, but somebody in the Discord said this. They said Roaring Kitty should come to the Discord to learn how to trade options. I'm sorry.
I know that's going to upset people because Tony and Mediocre, are you guys trading 63 million in options? We're not trading 60 or 100 million in options. We're not. But we also were screaming at him to fucking sell them when it was running up.
Absolutely.
It's not about the dollar amount. It's about knowing your timing. But I mean, Mediocre, he's a grown man, and he rolled the dice and he made his decisions. And I'm not going to fault him for that. It's not how I would have played it, but I'm not him, and he clearly has done.
Get out profitable. I'll just say that
he's done a lot of things over the last 3 years different than me, and he has way more money than me. So who am I to judge?
And I'll say, I also think he's smarter than me. I'll tell you that right now. Okay. So I don't want anybody to think I'm smarter than him. What is he doing? That is my question. What is his, I'm not certain what his motivation is. What is he? I'm still trying to figure that out.
Let's pull up some comments here.
I think he's a very intelligent guy. He knows fundamentals very well.
He is a good fundamental trader with a healthy dose of YOLO. Carlos says Mr. Cohen pulled the rug on Kitty and retail like he did in Bed Bath & Beyond. Retail keeps being the ATM for meme stocks. Well, I understand and honor what you're saying, Carlos. However, we as retail traders must know the plays that we're in. You have to be honest with yourself that you're speculating in troubled companies. Bed Bath & Beyond, I was putting out videos a year before the price tanked saying, or around the time around the time that Ryan Cohen was selling, I was saying this is looking like a train wreck. You got to be honest with yourself. Look at the financials. AMC has a lot of debt and they're losing money every quarter. It's a train wreck until box office improves. GameStop is in an industry with declining top line revenue, and it made a couple pennies off of interest, but their core business is failing. It's operationally losing money and operationally losing cash. So none of these are great businesses. You need to just be able to accept that. And then you can anticipate management raising cash, because that is why they're in the secondary market. That's why they're publicly trading, to have access to capital. I'm going to say that again. Companies are publicly traded to have access to capital. Where do they get that capital from, Mediocre?
I'm sorry, what were you talking about?
Where do public companies get their capital from? They get them from us.
Oh yes.
They get it from us.
From the shareholders, especially when they're not making profits. When they're not
right.
a profitable company.
Don't blame Ryan Cohen. I mean, he's doing his job as a CEO of the company.
You're the equity markets when they talk about that, just so you know.
But I think, if you're a long-term holder of GameStop, now they have a chance to actually do something meaningful and pivot. So it was a good play. And the other thing I hear, Mediocre, institutions are FOMOing in to GameStop. Institutions bought up all those shares. I call bullshit on that, Mediocre. I'm just going to say, I think it was retail and momentum traders that bought up all those shares.
Absolutely.
There's no institutions FOMOing in to an overpriced stock. And the reason someone might say that on their YouTube channel, that institutions are FOMOing in, besides not understanding finance or valuations, is they need to keep their audience engaged and emotional in the play. But institutions aren't emotional like YouTubers. They're looking at the same financial ratios and the same financial statements on GameStop I am, and they can see that it's overvalued. They're not FOMOing in unless they're a momentum trading firm. But they might FOMO in when Ryan Cohen announces a pivot plan, something that brings in earnings. I think you could have a healthy and sustainable run up in GameStop with institutions getting on board when we know a plan. But guys, let's be honest. Be honest with each other and with yourselves. Wall Street does not like companies where management is not giving guidance. Have you noticed that, Mediocre? Like, most companies actually give guidance. Like, here's our next year is not going to be so great, or our next year is going to be fantastic. And the price moves based on guidance.
Huh? We don't even get earnings calls.
We get no guidance. So Wall Street is not FOMOing in to GameStop. They're just not. That's a fantasy that people tell themselves on their own YouTube channels to cope with the fact that they don't understand really what the heck is going on. But there could be a day where institutions FOMO in. It's not today.
I'll put it you this way. Our Discord, I'll just tell you, we've been searching for what could Ryan Cohen GameStop purchase to bolster its balance sheet and make profits. What company could they actually purchase? Have we been looking? I mean, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out myself.
Even the experts that I've listened to don't really know. And it's not something, that I worry about too much. I trust the management. I'm going to give them my trust that they are putting in the time to find something worthy. And it's up to them to meet me halfway. You know, I'm giving you my trust, Ryan. Meet me halfway and show me that my trust was not unfounded. But at some point, we need to hear something. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I'd like to see him get something, whether it's in the video game or computer sector, like to stick with the whole GameStop deal. But we hear a lot of other stuff.
What other questions we got here? We got Carlos's comment up there. Anya says companies are not here to support retail. Exactly. As soon as you guys stop putting these CEOs on a pedestal, and I get accused of it a lot. Oh, you're putting Adam Aaron up on a pedestal. No. I'm explaining to you his job. Just like I'm giving you the exact same explanation for Ryan Cohen. Why are they raising money? Because they fucking needed to. I'm not putting anyone on a pedestal. I understand their job and why they're in the public markets to raise capital, because they're not cranking out fat profits and hundreds of millions of free cash flow. They're just not. AMC is not, and neither is GameStop. But they're both trying to better position themselves. AMC's got a lot more work to do. GameStop is way ahead of the game with the 2 cash raises they just did. What, mediocre?
I said absolutely. They just need to decide where they're going to go. What kind of company they're going to, how they're going to move forward with the capital they have, right?
Yep. Anya gets it though. Anya, we're graduating you to the next level. Tubby, Love Star says, I think he knew it was going to benefit GameStop or retail, and he put both above himself. I guess y'all are talking about Roaring Kitty. I mean, I don't think that people are inherently selfless. I don't think that Roaring Kitty's trades were to benefit us or GameStop. That was a side benefit that we all enjoyed, both the company and many of us that made profits over the last couple of weeks, if you wisely took some money off the table like we did. But I think Roaring Kitty is out there trying to lock in his own profits or increase his own ownership of GameStop, and we're just along for the ride.
If I had his money, Tony, I would not even be around here. I mean, I am so confused that he baffles me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's why it keeps me focused. Like, why is he doing what he's doing when he has that kind of money?
When you mentioned that to me earlier, my first thought was all the people that ask me, why are you still talking about AMC? I mean, the company's losing money. The box office isn't big enough for them to make profits. Why are you still talking about it? And I think, mediocre, the answer to why Roaring Kitty is still around in GameStop is similar to the same answer we have why we're still fucking around with AMC, because we understand the company. We can forecast their earnings. We can, not everybody can, but we can think like management, so we can have a pretty good idea how things are going to go down. Forget all the conspiracy bullshit. That's all nonsense. If you're approaching AMC or GameStop from a conspiracy basis in your analysis, you're never going to get it right. These are logical people, professionally schooled, trained executives in these companies. Your conspiracy stuff is not going to affect how they make their business decisions. It's just not. And that's been proven out time and time again. They make very logical, financially sound decisions to benefit their company.
I think that Keith's education in the financial system helps him a lot right?
It does help him a lot. But I what I wanted to finish saying is he's around GameStop because he understands it. Just like we screw around with AMC because we understand it. And if you understand it, you can trade it profitably.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't. Why so much money though? He doesn't. I don't understand it. That's the part I
Mediocre.
don't get.
Someone's got to own those shares.
All right. I mean,
Someone's got to own them. The only question to ask is not why so many shares. The only way I think that maybe you could judge him, and I'm not judging him, but why that price point? That's I would, whether he had 9 million shares or 90 million shares, I wouldn't judge him on that. I would say, did you get a good entry? That's really all I care about.
well, I think that his entry is not bad. That's the thing. I don't think it's terrible. I mean, I think he could have done better. Believe me, right? But I don't think he's in a bad position. You know,
I don't think he is either right now,
just don't know why so much.
considering how much cash they have.
You can't take it with you when you go. He's got quite a bit of money. He don't ever have to worry about nothing. Why put it at risk? I don't get it. That's the only part I don't get.
Sparky said, did he exercise the calls or sell them and take back the gains? I've seen people postulating on both, Sparky. The ones that I trust, I haven't done the math myself, but we know his cost basis went up. We know his cost basis reflected on his broker screenshot went up. And typically, if you were to exercise a call option, your broker is going to reflect your cost basis at the strike price, not including the premium you paid for the options.
Exactly.
Which would have made his cost basis go down. But on the screenshot he shared today, his cost basis was up. So just back of the envelope, that tells me, and I'm not saying I'm 100% correct, but spending 30 seconds analyzing this, that tells me that he sold some or all of the calls and then went out into the open market and bought shares. Y'all are free to disagree or leave me your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think. But that's my logic in analyzing. What do you think, Mediocre?
That's exactly what we were discussing earlier, and that's what I think. I think that's likely what happened, right? Because just on the fact that he had a $20 strike, your broker is going to give you the shares at $20, which would lower your dollar cost average, not higher it. His dollar cost average did increase on the shares. Is it because he exercised some and then bought some at the open market? I can't tell you exactly what he did. I wasn't the one who made the trades, right? But just by looking at it, from what I could tell by looking at it, it looks like he sold the calls and took the cash and bought shares with it. That's what I understand he did.
Tiger says, y'all have to remember Boston Consulting Group tried to run GameStop into the dirt. The previous management was not managing GameStop correctly. I agree with you, Tiger. Love Stars says, I can respect Ryan is doing his job. Ultimately, that is a risk we need to be aware of, but he's still rug pulled retail. I think that's a fair statement. I mean,
We'll do it again.
And yeah, I saw people on social media saying if it runs up again, they'll sell more shares. They might. I think it's a low probability to do a third equity raise, but I mean, you never know how much cash is too much to have on the balance sheet. Is 10 billion better than 4 billion? I mean, who knows what they have planned?
Anytime a company is overvalued, Tony, what happens?
They're going to sell shares if they need the cash. They got a way pissing us off versus taking care of the health of the company, and the getting more cash to be able to pivot was really important for GameStop.
Tony,
So,
does GameStop need the cash?
yes.
Why do they need the cash, Tony?
Because they have no earnings and their top line revenue is declining, and they need to pivot their business. I mean, this gives them ultimate flexibility to do something meaningful.
Exactly. And I would like to see them do that, right? If you support GameStop, you want them to succeed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing what they did. Now, I think what Love Stars is saying, the timing could have been better. Like, why do that on a Friday morning? And I don't disagree with you, my friend. I even said on my Thursday night video last week, I was begging Ryan not to do the dilution till Friday after hours. Did y'all watch that video? I said, Ryan, please let the family make some money on Friday. Don't announce the dilution until after hours on Friday. But he didn't listen to me. He still went ahead and did it 12 hours later and Friday morning.
Well, Tony, let me ask you a question. Why would he wait and do it on the weekend?
This is the
He can't
problem.
do anything until Monday morning at 9:30.
Right. That's the problem. Like I think they did, as executives, they did the calculus to say, we don't know how the Roaring Kitty live stream is going to go. We don't know what's going to happen between now and Monday. We know that right now it's trading at $60.
Yep. Guaranteed money.
Unleash the fury, Mitch.
And I know it sucks, but
it does suck. I mean, they did rug pull everybody that had. I saw some people had tens of thousands of dollars invested in call options for that Friday. It's got to be irritating as hell. But options are always risky.
absolutely.
And that's why it's important for you to understand. I hate coming back to this point over and over, but you need to understand when a price of a stock is overvalued, because management is going to agree with me what the fundamental value of their stock is. They went to school just like I did and studied this stuff. They know when the price out in the market is ripe for the pickings, and they know they need money. And if you cannot be emotional, you can forecast this stuff. That's why I talked to you guys about it on Thursday night last week, because I'm not emotional in this play, just analytical. My only goal is to increase my account every week and do that in as risk-free way as possible. And by increase my account, I mean cash, selling shares into run up.
I don't know, Tony, man. I don't like seeing retail get hurt either. You know what I mean? But it's inevitable. I've come to the understanding that there's nothing you're going to be able to do. So they're gonna make their choice, right?
Yeah. Mike says Tony suggested a distillery. Did I? There's no telling what I suggested, Mike. I don't remember saying that. But, maybe it was a different Tony, or maybe I just don't remember what I said. GameStop one-stop dispensers. That would be funny. A lot of people want AMC to sell edibles and stuff at the movies too. That comes up a lot. Do some of y'all own Sundial still? Is that where that's coming from?
I don't know.
Let's all help each other out, Ryan. You could sell toys in the lobby of AMC, and you could
Spread
sell
the wealth, Ryan.
Tiger says Steam is worth 5 times GameStop, and they're private. GameStop should make their own platform with their own fan base. Here we got Mike with medical weed. We're back to the weed thing again. Todd says, can GameStop loan AMC $1 billion at a low interest rate, please? Yeah, I've seen a lot of people wanting to see a GameStop AMC collab. As much, you guys know, I support AMC's long-term success, but I think GameStop needs to stay away. GameStop needs to invest their money in something that yields high earnings.
For GameStop, yeah.
And
AMC's going to be just fine, I think.
And if they invest their money, they've been very responsible about investing it in treasuries, which are paying a decent and safe return. And I don't know that investors, the institutional ones that exist, that might be willing to sue if things go sideways, I don't know that investors are going to be too forgiving of management at GameStop investing in a junk bond company like AMC.
And that's just the truth. And we don't think that AMC is a junk company for
no,
the
I'm saying the bonds are rated junk status, mediocre.
absolutely.
This is facts. I'm not being negative. I'm just triple C minus. That's a junk bond rating. AMC's credit rating is not institutional grade. That's not me being negative. I'm just using industry lingo. Is Sparky still here? I wanted to ask him. I don't even think that, I don't know that AMC could sell a below market rate for their credit rating to GameStop. Could they create a new bond and sell it to GameStop at a low interest rate? Well, GameStop they'd probably be sued for lack of fiduciary duty. That's just not
way
smart.
above my pay grade. I can't answer that.
It's not smart business management. Sparky says he's still here. I think you know what I'm saying, Sparky. Let me know your thoughts on that. We're just spitballing here. I don't think GameStop wants anything to do with AMC.
No, they can't. I mean, if I was a GameStop shareholder and they did that, I would be upset, to be totally honest with you. And I love AMC. I'm pretty much an AMC shareholder, right? Like, I'm still trying to get my position back. But the point I'm trying to make is it's not smart for GameStop to do that. They got their own issues they need to deal with, you know?
Anya says, Tony for the next CEO of AMC. I honestly, Anya, I mean, as dumb as it sounds, I don't know what I would do differently than what they're already doing. They're trying to fix the balance sheet. They're cutting locations as leases come due. I'll tell you what I'd do, Anya. I'd work for no pay. As long as I can still do YouTube, you know. Well, shit, I probably can't do YouTube if I'm CEO.
Right.
No, I need to have enough money to pay my family. But yeah, I think that, you know, there's some valid gripes that people have about the executives' pay, and we mostly voted against their pay again. I hope they're listening. But we don't live in a communist country. We live in a capitalist country, and executives don't work for free, except for one or two, Ryan Cohen being one of them. But Adam Aaron's not a billionaire like Ryan. So Ryan has the luxury. Adam does not. I don't know that I'd do anything different. What would you do different, guys, if you were in the boardroom or in the executive suite at GameStop? Sorry, at AMC. I always ask the people in the comments. They say we need to get rid of the board and get rid of Adam Aaron. I'm happy to have that discussion with y'all. But I
don't think I want to get rid of Sean Goodman at all.
I ask people, what would you do different? No one has ever responded. Like, if you're going to have a thought, have it thought out. Be prepared to give me your next level analysis. What would you do different?
I mean, what do you think of Sean Goodman?
I think Sean Goodman has done a fucking fantastic job of not running this ship into the rocks.
Exactly.
That's not me sucking his dick. You know, he's in a bad situation. They don't control the box office. They're closing locations as fast as they can. If there's one thing that I'd like to see happen quicker, mediocre, it would be close more locations while we're not profitable. But I can only assume that they're not closing them because they're stuck in long-term leases, and those aren't easy to get out of. Now, I've signed commercial leases. I don't know if you guys have, but they're not easy to get out of. And if you do want to get out of them early, what's the first thing the commercial landlord's going to tell you? Well, you could do that, but we're going to sue you for specific performance and sue you for every month and year remaining on the lease. Once they tell you that, there's really not any advantage to trying to break the lease.
Nope.
You got to work with them, or you got to suck it up. And if they don't want to work with you, you're screwed.
Yep. Bankruptcy. Hold on a minute.
I have never heard your dog bark, Mediocre.
She's usually quiet. One of my kids just walked in.
Sufyan says, Tony, what do you have to say to the YouTubers that are pushing derivative catalyst on meme stocks? What is the derivative catalyst, Sufyan? Explain. Todd says, Dave Lauer pointed out that Kitty bought the shares. He did not exercise any. I agree. I agree with Dave.
So do I. He sold them, closed them out, took the money, bought shares.
Slap at the Bass says GameStop could start selling Oklahoma smash burgers if they wanted them, and we would all eat them. I'd go buy a GameStop Oklahoma smash burger. Absolutely. I had a AMC Supreme Pizza today. My wife had the ranch popcorn, and what else did she get? She got one other item. Fuck, man, I don't remember what she got. Anyways, she was looking at the fried mozzarella sticks. She's like, I don't want to pay $9.99 for 4 mozzarella sticks, but I don't remember what else she got for her main meal. But we saw Garfield today, Mediocre.
How was that?
I would say, I went because of her. She wanted to see Garfield. She's a animal lover and
absolutely.
She's a crazy cat lady. It's not my kind of movie. And even she said at the end, she's like, it wasn't really what I expected, but it was funny. It was funny. It was funny. But I think it's a perfect movie for families with kids. But we don't have kids yet, me and her. So maybe later this year we'll have an announcement. But I went to go see Garfield just to get that off the list because I know she wanted to see it. And we have like 5 or 6 more movies that we need to go see before the end of this month, before Q2 is over. We got the Bike Riders, we got Bad Boys Ride or Die, we got Inside Out 2. We have what else? The Watchers, we got Horizon, and The Quiet Place 2. There's a lot of good movies to go out there and see to support AMC. And if you're watching a movie in a mall, stop in by GameStop and buy something to help them out. Slap at a Bass says AMC needs to pivot to
what?
I mean, they are trying with new product lines, expanding the food items, retail popcorn, improving the luxury viewing experience, adding dine-in theaters. Yeah, I haven't put a lot of thought into what else they could pivot to outside their core competency. They don't pay me enough for that, Mediocre, because they don't pay me anything. Did you know that nobody pays me for my thoughts?
I think they could get more deals with streaming services,
You missed my comment, Mediocre.
What'd you say?
I said, did you know that nobody pays me for my thoughts on YouTube?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I hear that a lot. I hear that a lot. I've been paid or promised something. I'm like, man, if I've been paid or promised something, they must have the wrong fucking mailing address because I ain't got shit.
You didn't get your Citadel check this month?
I didn't get a Citadel check or an Adam Aaron check. These motherfuckers.
That's because you left AMC and went to GameStop.
Devil May Rage, what's up? He says maybe GameStop should buy a gold mine. They should probably buy a lithium mine. Lithium is where it's at, from what I hear.
AMC got a gold mine they could probably sell.
Okay, so here's a good question from 2B Now that Kitty sold his call options with the GameStop sell-off will GameStop sell off after earnings tomorrow? So the earnings call is Monday. And do we agree that that's good on GameStop to not do the call on a Friday and rug pull people again? Are we happy that they scheduled it for the 17th? Are y'all happy about that? I don't know that they specifically picked Monday to make retail happy. I think it might be more about get the IT guys in here. Let's get some new servers, computer share. We're proud that we haven't upgraded our servers since 1989, but we are doing it now. And we will be ready to go with top of the line AMD processors. And I'm teasing, but I think they're doing some IT upgrades over the weekend is why they scheduled it for Monday. That would be, as someone who came from that industry, that would be the logical thing to do, right? Upgrade your infrastructure over the weekend.
They're having trouble, right?
Yeah. I mean, there are too many people logged in. They got fucking hammered.
They're like, oh, we got a lot of shareholders.
Yeah. I mean, you guys who've worked for corporate, you know how it goes. Everything that is impactful to the business, if you can, you do it over the weekend. Now, in my old corporate job, we had so many buildings, and I moved building locations as we built new buildings. They moved us around a lot. They got so good at the corporate moves that they could move us overnight. I was always like astonished. Like, I guess they had the offices and the cubicles already set up in the new building, but we would just pack our shit in a couple brown boxes and put our name on it. And you'd wake up in the morning and you'd be completely set up. They'd hook up your computer. They'd hook up your phone. They'd set everything up for you. They wouldn't unpack your personal stuff. But I mean, they'd move entire departments overnight. That's some good internal logistics. But yeah, I think Computer Show's just doing an IT upgrade over the weekend. Ryan, good question, Ryan. Maybe GameStop to buy back some shares to increase the company value. I get the sentiment, Ryan. I get it. I know your heart's in a good place. My personal opinion, that would be a horrible use of cash. They just sold shares.
Yeah, I was just to say that, Ryan. Why would they buy some back when they just sold them?
Right. They just sold shares. And I hear this a lot, Ryan, from people in a lot of different retail plays. As the company is diluting, they're saying maybe they're going to use that money to buy shares back. Just stop and think that through for a second. The companies are selling shares to put cash on the balance sheet for a reason, for corporate use. It's generally not to go back and buy shares. But Ryan, I think if GameStop dropped to $7, $8, $9, $10, and I'm not saying it would, but if it got to the point where it was undervalued, I would support them using some cash to buy back shares. Generally, you want to see cash buybacks, share buybacks. You want to see those from companies which are profitable, cash flow positive, and have more cash sitting there than they know what to do with. And the only remaining two things to do with all of that flood of cash coming in from your core business, the only thing left you could figure out better to do with that money than reinvest it in the business is to pay a dividend or to buy back shares. GameStop's not in that position. So I don't see that as a high probability outcome right now. Robin says, what are your thoughts on this CRE bubble exposure on banks and using synthetic risk transfers to play hot potato by handing down loans to hedge funds? We're talking about commercial real estate. I'm worried about real estate. I'm worried about it. I only spend a fraction of my week checking in on real estate, but I know enough to know that we're not in good shape, and that could be something that impacts markets, especially
Commercial real estate
if
has a lot of empty offices.
if banks start getting in trouble, then the markets start eroding and we have a market crash and everything comes down. I'm not one of those people that wants to see a market crash. I'm not one of those people that will tell you your favorite stock is going to skyrocket when the market crashes. I'm generally not in favor of market crashes, but I do worry about it. And I'm trying to keep cash on the side to be ready to go buy that juicy dip. Speaking of juicy, we got Juicy Got You Crazy in the house. What's up, amigo? Chris says the earnings call is tomorrow after the bell. I mean, I'm literally looking at the press release, Chris. I posted it in my Discord from GameStop's website. June 17th at 11:30 a.m. I'll put a link in the chat here for you guys. Saheb, what's up? He says, I used to work as a contractor to do overnight office moves and computer setup. God bless you. You guys do some good work, Saheb. Sparky says, I do not believe in some. Are you getting tired, Mediocre?
I'm good. Let's go.
Sparky says, I don't believe in some short amount of time a company can buy back shares in the market, even if the stock drops. Don't have the reference, but would not be good faith. Yeah, I like that word. You're using some industry terms there, Sparky. Good. It's a good faith violation. Yeah, if you can look that up, that'd be interesting. I didn't even think that there might be some something that we could look up. Sufyan says, man, he's really going left field here, Mediocre. Did you notice that Mike Tyson pulled out of the Jake Paul fight? The latest I saw was Jake Paul shaking hands with Mr. Trump. I did not know that Tyson pulled out.
Tyson pulled out?
That's what Sufyan's saying.
I'll have to do some research. I don't know.
All right,
I haven't been paying attention, to be honest.
Y'all got some other questions for us? We're here trying to give you your conspiracy-free, emotion-free financial analysis of this play and what the heck is going on.
I'm just trying to get paid every week, Tony.
I know. We want to make some money just right along with you guys. I'm long on GameStop in the 23 and change range, just like Roaring Kitty. I'm not holding to $1,000. I'm holding until I get a price, Tony? Because it's not going to $1,000.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
I'll be out on the first little bump run up, but I'm hoping for some good news from the company. Like I don't know what other good news Roaring Kitty could give us at this point. He has 9 million shares. Awesome. Very strong sentiment of support there. But what else could he do at this point? So it's up to Ryan and management to light us on fire from here. And if they don't, I can't really say what's going to happen next week because there's not any interesting options stuff to talk about. The options chain is, it's loaded up at certain strike points, but that does not matter if you don't have buying pressure on the underlying, right? You know what I'm saying, Mediocre?
That's right.
How many years have we been watching people talking about 800,000 open interest on X, Y, and Z this week? And what happens?
Nothing.
They all lose their money. It's like a pointless thing to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Open interest on a play is pointless to talk about if you don't have a catalyst to generate momentum in the underlying ticker.
I want to say thank you, Anya. Appreciate that. It's very kind of you.
What'd she say? Your hair looks good. Mediocre is a very active business owner, and he probably works super hard. I bet he does. I bet he does. Some days I get to talk to him while he's at work, and he sounds like he's working hard. I always ask him, mediocre, are you working hard or are you hardly working?
I usually am working hard.
I'm going to grab one refill, mediocre, hang out with the folks here for a few more minutes. So why don't you grab a question? I'll be back in 2 seconds.
See ya. Let's see what I can find here. Why didn't Kitty exercise when he had about $1 billion? That's a good question. I didn't follow his whole position at the time, but he needed 240 million, I believe. I'd have to redo the math, but I think he needed 240 million. No, 12 million. Let me do the math. Hang on.
It was 240 million.
Was it 240?
To buy out all the call options?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he needed $240 million. I don't know if he really ever had the cash to do it.
Oh, you know what they're saying now on social media? Mediocre. He's got the cash. He clearly exercised the options and bought them out because he's got the cash. He just didn't want to show you. He's got it in a secret account.
Okay. That's fine, but it takes a couple days to transfer into a new account.
What
do you want me to say? Unless he did an internal transfer, I mean, it doesn't.
It's just funny to me how people are willing to create all of these theories. Like, why?
I knew that was going to come up, and I knew somebody would say that too.
Of course,
unless it was an internal transfer, Tony, he could very well have that money in another account.
He could.
But if it's not on E-Trade and it's not an internal transfer, guess what? He's going to have to wait, just like the rest of us.
And you know what I'd say, mediocre? Where the fuck did he get another $240 million? What kind of trading is this guy doing?
Yeah, exactly. Like
he's got $500 million. Half of it he's keeping secret from us in another account.
Yeah.
How much trading of GameStop has he been doing? He's been thrashing his account for the last 3 years.
I thought he was buying and holding. Tony.
I thought he was just holding, and it's down 80%. So what the heck?
Yeah, exactly.
Where do you get that money? I mean, everybody else that bought GameStop is down 80%. So how did this dude make $500 million?
Tony, I wasn't trying to go there.
I'm just having fun with everybody.
I know.
Okay, we got an update on Mike Tyson. His ulcers flared up. I think his old age flared up, honestly. But I'm sorry to hear that, Mike. And I want to see Mike kick Jake's ass.
I would love to see that.
I'd love to see the old man win.
But if he has an ulcer, he probably shouldn't be fighting to begin with. His health is more valuable than the fight.
I wanted to kind of ask your opinion, mediocre. Since we don't have the options in play anymore, we know he owns 9 million shares. What are you thinking could happen with GameStop next week? Like, I mean, just at face value, what are you thinking about, positive or negative, that could affect next week, or how the trading is just going to go in general?
I think the simple fact that he took the money and he took the other 29, was it 23, whatever it is, $1 million that he had in cash, and he put that into more stock to equal 9 million, 1,000 shares. I think bumping up his position is going to create hype.
I think it's very bullish as far as how a retail trader might analyze that.
Exactly. Do I think that's how the overall market is going to view it? Probably not, but you know.
That's really my big question. Like, I know that we, including myself, everyone in retail is going to look at that as bullish.
Yep.
But is that enough to prevent the market from pushing the price down? And by the market, I mean the shorts. And even if they try and push it down, are we going to push back?
Exactly.
It's at a really strange price level. We're close to $30. I think that there's going to be this battle for a while between 20 and $30, and that might be your trading range in GameStop.
So Lando's got a question, Tony.
All right,
I think he should get the proper answer.
let me find Lando. Oh, I
Lando.
love this question, Lando. Do you think
You
that
knew this question was going to come, didn't you, Tony?
I well, I've been dealing with it on Twitter. I wasn't even thinking about it tonight on the live stream, but thank you for asking, so I can at least talk to it. Yes, they will locate the shares. I know. There's a lot of people on YouTube and Twitter making a big deal about this, that they're not going to be able to locate 4 million shares. I mean, the volume, guys, today was over 100 million shares. The company just increased the float 100 million plus shares. There's plenty. You saw the shares available to short went up. There's plenty of share liquidity. There will be no issue finding shares, in my opinion. So it's not something I'd be embarrassed to talk about it, to be frank. And I know people probably spent 4 hours on YouTube today telling you that this is definitely going to squeeze because they're not going to be able to find 4 million shares. I just, in the nicest way that I can say things, think that some people get too emotionally wrapped up in a play and don't really understand market mechanics. And they want to tell you something to keep you buying. And I'd love to see you keep buying too, but I'm not going to lie to you. There's not going to be any problem getting 4 million shares.
Tony, what's the new shares outstanding?
I mean, including the shares they just issued, it's around 425 million. So we're talking what, 1% of the outstanding?
So 1% of the outstanding.
I mean, when I see 100 million trade in a day, there's shares out there. It's not going to be a problem.
Absolutely. That's kind of where I was going.
I've been buying. I haven't had any problem getting fills. I haven't heard anybody on social media saying they didn't deliver my shares.
But Lando, I have a question for you.
What's interesting to me, Lando, is as we push up through strike prices on the options chain, that is interesting. And a high short interest and an increasing price is interesting to me. We know those are factual things that can spur buying, spurts of buying that rocket the price up. Locating shares, I think, is a waste of time to talk about. It's people grasping for something to tell you, and they probably believe what they're saying, but for me, it's a non-issue.
Well, since this comment is up here, I'm going to ask Lando a question here, and quite simply, it's about Keith Gill, Mr. Roaring Kitty, aka Deep Effing Value. I mean, I don't know because I haven't gotten through the series yet. But my question is have you ever heard of Roaring Kitty talk about people not getting shares or synthetic?
Thank you. Yeah.
Or
That
any of that?
mediocre. That's a beautiful segue to mention our 5-part series, soon to be 10 parts, where we're going back and reviewing all of Roaring Kitty's original DD. I hope you guys take some time to watch that because I think a lot of you aren't familiar with his original DD. He never talked about synthetic shares. He never talked about naked shorts. He never talked about billions of synthetics. Never talked about DRS. Never talked about hedge funds. All the things that you guys are talking about today were never part of his original thesis. Excuse me.
Exactly.
And I think that we've kind of, as retail, lost our way from the origins of short squeeze theory. And I think it started at some point when people became bag holders of GameStop. They started searching for some coping mechanism. We're not all the way done yet. I could still change my mind. It's a 10-part series. We're halfway through it. The next one is tomorrow night. Come listen to what he said.
From his own words, not ours.
His own words is the short squeeze is risky. You shouldn't be counting on it, and it's a sideshow. That's what he told us last night.
But I want to say this. This is what I want to get at, right? I believe that there is some corruption that goes on in the market.
Absolutely.
Right? I don't want you guys to think that I don't believe in corruption.
Absolutely.
That's not true, okay? But to talk about synthetic shares and all this other stuff, if Keith Gill, a.k.a. Roaring Kitty, is the god of GameStop, we'll just say, I'm just being a smartass, then why isn't he the one out here talking about all the stuff that you hear from all these other people? Why hasn't he said anything about it? Not a freaking word.
Maybe he did, Mediocre. I mean, we're only halfway through a 10-part series.
Well, I agree. I'm just saying.
Maybe we'll find when we get to January, he all of a sudden he said, "Guys, there's 5 billion synthetics. We got this."
Recently, Tony hasn't said anything either.
I know. I'm just trying to. I'm trying to find middle ground with my audience here. I want to find the day where he said, "We got this because there's 5 billion synthetics." But so far, guys, I've spent dozens of hours.
They're going to locate the shares 100%. They're already located. It's a non-issue.
Slap of the Bass says Reddit did that for him. Yeah, I mean, at some point, this whole synthetic share thing took a life of its own, and I get that. And once we finish once we've exhausted going through Keith Gill's original DD, it'll probably be another week for us to finish that up. And I'm just doing this for my own education and for yours. I don't know everything that he said.
I don't either.
Back in 2020. So maybe I'll find out in next week that he was talking about that stuff. If I don't hear it in his videos, the next logical step of my little historical walkthrough of the DD here will be to go find who started talking about that and when and why. Don't you think that's an interesting thing to look into, Mediocre? If we go through all of Roaring Kitty's videos and he's never talked about it, shouldn't we take the next logical step and figure out what was the date? Now, here's one thing I know, Mediocre. Have you heard of Ham the Short Killer?
I have not.
He's a guy that pumps shit stocks like GTII and Finger. And he's been talking about it for decades.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I mean, just look at the price of Finger and GTII and every other play that this joker has pushed. And meanwhile, he's getting paid by these companies. A lot of people don't know that he's getting paid by these companies. That is documented fact. I'm not just throwing people allege I'm getting paid. I'm telling you, nobody has ever paid me or promised me anything. I have documentation that this guy was paid and sanctioned by the SEC. I don't hurl out unfounded allegations. You can go find this information on Twitter.
But I think people realize this.
This has been around for a while, Mediocre. I think people just picked up on it in the January 2021 era because it it made them feel, well, it wasn't that we made a bad decision not selling. It's because the system has all these billions of synthetics. Go ahead. Sorry for interrupting you.
No. I mean, okay, I think naked short selling exists. Okay, I think it's illegal. I think it happens, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're synthetic shares. And failure to delivers don't equate. You can't just add up failure to delivers and say they're synthetic shares. It doesn't work. And I know that's what a lot of people try to do. I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole. I'd want you to know that I trade options every week, sometimes multiple times a week. And I've never had a problem being assigned the shares that were supposed to be assigned to me or having shares taken from me that were supposed to be taken from me. All right? Like that, it happens like clockwork.
But mediocre, you just have fake shares. Remember when our good friend Lou up in New York was asking people, what day did you buy your shares so I can tell you if they're real or synthetic?
No, I never watched him, but
Oh my goodness. I look, we know that naked shorting exists as a function of making markets for a brief moment in time, that a market maker can be naked. We know that some firms engage in illegal activity and they get caught and fined, and some of them probably don't get caught. We know that rehypothecation happens. We know that failures to deliver happens. There's a lot of ways you can have legal naked shorts.
exactly.
People mismark trades on purpose or accident. I don't want you to think that we think everything is bullshit. I agree with all of this stuff, but to the extent that people try and make it, I don't know that I agree with that. And so after holding my AMC and watching it melt down from 2021 to 2023, I had to just admit that whether or not that is true, we're not winning.
But
And
Tony,
I need to go back to just trading the fundamentals.
we don't have to worry about it anymore, Tony, because the cat system is going to catch them. Don't worry. We got the detectives on it, Tony.
Audio Plug says, Tony, besides AMC and GameStop, are there any other companies you've been watching? Yes. I have a list I've been generating up in my free time. I go through hundreds of stocks. I'm dumpster diving for potential value plays. I have about 5 of them identified. One of them is a blue chip. Not all of them are blue chip. I will be making videos on them. It's not like a big rush, because when you're looking at a value play, I'm looking for something that is going to be relatively safe with market beating returns over the next 1 to 5 years. So it's not like we got to rush in and buy it today. Some of them, I just wish that I had more hours in the day to finish the DD and put together a compelling video sharing my thoughts with you. But maybe this weekend I'll get to it. There's a couple of not new directions, but there's a couple of playlists that I'm going to create on the YouTube channel of stuff I do every day that we just haven't been talking about, which is the wheel strategy. Mediocre, I think we need to share with the folks every weekend a wrap up on what successful wheel strategy options trading plays we had. Because you know how every weekend we're planning out our next week options plays.
Absolutely.
And we're generating income every week, whether stocks stay flat, go up, or go down through options trading. I think it'd be maybe helpful to some people just to do a weekly wheel, the weekly wheel update.
We could do that.
Weekly wheel update from the Clown News Network. I think we should talk about that. And I think that, I need to create a playlist. I've been covering value stocks for you guys for a long time, but none of y'all ever watched the videos. Huge market beating returns on all of these stocks that I've covered. Some of them, almost all of them, I exited because they hit my target price. Instead of having to wait 2 or 5 years, we were making market beating returns in a few months on safe blue chip stocks. But nobody cares about that. You guys don't want to hear about blue chips where you can make 40%. I don't know why. I mean, it's so fucking nice just to go to sleep knowing that the bulk of my money is invested in safe companies.
Tony, grab Lando's other comment.
But yeah, we're going to talk about that stuff. Lando, where's this? Is it it's a lose-lose?
Yeah.
It's a lose-lose. Market makers pay off all our petitions and all our governance. I think I look, I'm not going to disagree with them. There's a lot of incest between Wall Street and Main Street.
Tony, how do I say that we got to change the market? What's the only way I say?
Vote all the bums out.
So I agree with you. And so, Lando, I'm just going to tell you, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. So the only advice I have, and it's not even advice, the rule that I follow is be the barnacle on the whale. This is why I changed my strategy, people. Because I'm not going to fight the big money because you can't beat them. That's why I trade the way that I trade. And
Robin says the cat system, all it does is detect and have the SEC find them. I mean, that's mostly correct, Robin. Here's how, look, you guys have not seen me make a video about the cat system. Why? Why do you think that is?
I know why.
Mediocre. Why do you think that is?
Because all it is an audit trail. That's it.
It's not meaningful to my day-to-day trading. It's not meaningful enough for me to make a video to you guys telling you it's going to be meaningful to you. It will, as a back-end audit system down the road after something bad happens, enable regulators to go dig into what happened. Is it going to change the day-to-day of any stock that you're in? I don't think so. If I thought so, I'd make a video about it. Trust me, I'm looking for content ideas every day. I think it's clickbait. I think it's, well, I'm just going to say I think it's clickbait. I love the cat system. I love regulators having more tools to nail the bad guys. I don't think it's going to be meaningful to any of us in the short term in any play that we're in. Scott the Builder says we will see Ryan Cohen up his share position next week as he's now under 10%. Thank you. I agree. And I posted that in my Discord a couple days ago as I was kind of like daydreaming, or what are possible catalysts that would convince me to keep holding my GameStop at $23 and change. And the company announcing some strategic pivot or acquisition would be one. The Ryan Cohen or Larry adding to their position would be another potential catalyst. But I will tell you, Scott, because I always try and share with you guys here on YouTube when we do the lives, the same info I share in the Discord. There's no secret information in the Discord that I don't share with you guys. I'm just not here with you all day, every day on YouTube. What I told them in the Discord is I would be surprised if the execs are buying at this price. Doesn't mean that they won't. I've seen Ryan overpay before for shares, Larry too. So would I love to see it? Absolutely. As a shareholder, I would love to see the execs buying some shares, and that could be a great little catalyst.
Can you grab Justin Selden's comment?
Yep.
I want to say something to him, as a matter of fact. So Justin says they don't care about taking down the bad guys. They just want more of the fine money so bad will always be around. It's what always pays the SEC salary. And might I add, uh, they're not going to stop them because the government makes tax money on every penny they make. So, when somebody has massive gains, they're paying a lot of tax. So I have to kind of agree with Justin here.
I agree with Justin also, and I agree with everybody that we've heard in the media where they talk about the SEC, the people that in general work at SEC, they know that once they retire or leave, they've got a nice job working for a hedge fund where they can make 100 times the money. But now they have the connections at the SEC, and they know how the SEC thinks and works. It's a lot of really bad shit going on between Washington and Wall Street.
And,
Absolutely.
and the only one who can change it is Congress. And good luck with that.
And so knowing all of that and knowing it's always been like that, I just have to be really patient and persistent in clamoring for market change. I don't think it's going to happen quickly or easily. It's the next chance of market change is when things go to hell in a handbasket. That's when they'll get serious. Because why mediocre? Congress will get involved because their constituents got obliterated, and they will have no choice. Every time we get major market change and oversight is because somebody got fucked.
Yep.
Right now, they're just like coasting. They're collecting their paychecks and their bribes and their secret yacht trips out in Aruba or wherever. Yolo Ono, what's up? What's up, Dan? Dan, did you go to the theater tonight? Dan's in the UK, guys. It's like,
is he in London, mate?
like he was going to London. He was going to London to go to the theater, but I don't know if that was today or tomorrow. He says, I want clickbait, Tony. Please talk about the CAT system. Clickbait is the basis of all of my financial decisions. Oh, man. Dan, do you know how many people want to come to my house and murder me because I won't talk about synthetic shares? Tony, we need more clickbait out of you or we will come kill you. That's what they tell me.
Oh, God.
If you don't talk about those damn synthetics, Tony, we're going to put you in jail. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, guys? Can't save them all. Audio Plug says, where do you see GameStop going tomorrow? So we have options expiration. Let's pull up the chart here. Well, I mean, we're dealing with old info, but let's pull up the options open interest. Let me find that screen.
I think I got it right here. Hang on. You want GME?
I got it, mediocre. Let me. God damn it! There we go. No, that's still not the right screen I want. Let's get this chat off of here. Options, GameStop, open interest, call side. All right, so we are dealing with tomorrow, mañana. This is outdated info. We're looking at this column right here called open interest. And we can see the 20. Am I on the right chart here? Calls, GameStop. Something looks, oh, okay. I was getting confused with next week. So tomorrow, I just kind of, guys, if I'm looking for, is there going to be a gamma ramp? Is there going to be anything exciting in the options chain? I'm looking at the next week to 2 weeks. So this week and next week, what is the open interest on strikes that are out of the money? We got 29,000 at 30. And we're at $29.12. We're at 28.36 in after hours. The next really strike that's interesting is $35. And then 40, we got 38,000. But I mean, could we get to $40 tomorrow? I don't know. What's the catalyst that's going to get there would be my question. And then next week, there's a high amount of hedging still going on for next week. The further out you get, the less hedging they do. So when we look at next week, which is close enough to be relevant, we have these $20. Those have all been wiped out from Keith selling. We've got 55,000 open interest at 30, 15,000 at 35, 42,000 at 40. So, I mean, yes, tomorrow could be interesting if the buying pressure comes in. But if I got to be honest, I don't know what catalyst could substantially move the price enough to make the option chain interesting for tomorrow. So my mediocre, I want to hear what you think, but I think that it will mostly trade in the same range that we have been in all week, which is kind of this $24 to $30 range.
I just checked Max Payne and it says $27.50.
There you go.
So, and then
what are y'all thinking?
I went and I looked at my little handy chart I like to use, and it says that shows 27, so somewhere in that range.
Brian says Roaring Kitty on hiding his second live stream. Did he schedule another live stream? Are you pulling my leg? YOLO own it. Tell me, Brian. Tell me if he really scheduled one. Tell me, you guys. Is he pulling my leg? YOLO Ono says, "What's up, Governor? The theater and tea with the king is in about 8 hours. Just have to pick up the kids from the chimney sweeping."
Oh God! Hand them over to Mary Poppins to babysit.
There's enough loaded in the options chain that if GameStop or Ryan Cohen or Roaring Kitty drop some good news, it could be an interesting day tomorrow or an interesting week next week. But lacking any substantial news, I think it's going to be a relatively boring day. I'm really kind of like thinking, should I shift my trading strategy just to swing trade between 23 and $30? I mean, you could almost do that every other day, mediocre. Look at this damn chart.
Hold on. I'm looking up his video shit real quick. You got me working, Tony.
Audio plug, what's up, amigo? He says, I think that we'll have some good news. I hope so. I'm sitting long at 23 and change, so I hope so. I'd like to end this week with a sale. Let's put it that way. Shareholder meeting might push it up. Shareholder meeting is going to be on Monday. Audio plug.
I don't see no Roaring Kitty video.
That would be cool if he does another one, though. Tubby Tubby says, by my calculations, Kitty sold at about $1 over his cost. Not a great trade, but not a loss. In my book, that's still a win. I'd much rather see him get out at a profit, even if it's not the profit he hoped for.
You don't want to see him give his money back to the market. That's more importantly what I care about. I don't care how good the trade was or how bad the trade was. Just don't give the money back.
Tubi says, I fear tomorrow the shorts are going to come in and knock the price down to 22, 23. They could. I mean, I'm okay. I'm okay holding. I'm in at 23 and change. I'm okay holding even maybe down to 18 or 20 bucks. I don't think I'm going to get scared out of my position if it drops below $23.
I'll tell you what, if it drops,
I will add to my position if it drops below that, because what's the bad news now? There's no bad news.
Tony, if it goes there, I will buy in next week on Monday.
I'm not saying that, mediocre, to make people buy or to encourage you guys to buy. I'm just being honest about how I'm viewing this play. Like if they knock it down to 18 or 20 bucks, what's the bad news for me to be scared about? I would think that that's a reasonable place to add more shares.
I'd like it a little less than that, but if it gets down there, I may have to buy something.
Tubby Tubby says, do you guys use stop losses and what is your strategy? It depends. Tubby Tubby, if you ever followed my channel when we were doing a lot of live day trading, I recommended two people. Maybe recommended is not the right word. I often employed trailing stop losses. So if I was in a runaway play where it's just running up, I would put in a trailing stop loss of 10 to 20%, sometimes a dollar amount, 50 cents or $1, so that I didn't have to overthink it. If it's running up, my stop loss follows the stock up. And if the stock pulls back 10%, 15%, whatever I have my trailing stop loss set at, I would exit and I don't have to think about it. And that's
automatic.
Huh?
Yeah, it does it automatically for you.
It's automatic, yeah. And that takes all the emotion out of it. Like if I know I'm already up 100% in a play, I don't want to get greedy and I just put in a trailing stop loss, let it run, because who knows how high it's going to go. I don't want to get out too early, but when it starts pulling back, I want to get out and not overthink it. So I do use that from time to time. I haven't used it recently. If I have the ability to sit here and just watch the play, I have stop losses in my brain. I call it a mental stop loss. The thing is, guys, you have to have supreme emotional control. And you need to think about your stop loss target before you get there. And if you hit it, you need to hit the eject button and sell. And I will do that without regret every single time. And if you're in my Discord, especially if you're in the VIP, you know, I often I'll put in there like this is a speculative play. I have a stop loss price in mind, and you'll see when I get out of the play, I don't overthink it. If it starts going the wrong way on me, I get out. I can always get back in if I was wrong. But that hesitation, that moment you hesitate and you're down 10% turns into 50% because you miscalled to run up and it's like on the elevator ride back down. I don't like getting caught in those elevator rides back down. So if sometimes they stop loss hunt, and of course it rallies back up right when I got out. That's a hazard of the job. It happens even to me sometimes, but over the course of everything, that's not something I worry about. It's just something you got to deal with. Carl says still haven't won me. Are you, Carl, is that for me? Are you in my Discord?
No, he's talking to me.
Okay.
That's why my comment is.
Okay. I'm just checking. Like if to get full access in the Discord, you guys need to have a 2-minute conversation with me. And sometimes people, ends up being a 1-hour conversation, which I love. I love getting to know you guys. But mostly that's just to go over the rules of the Discord, because my Discord is not to pump and dump stocks or give you guys buy and sell instructions. And I want to make sure everybody knows that we talk about a lot of different plays in the Discord that we don't talk about on YouTube. But I always say the good and the bad of a play. Here's why I'm buying. Here's what I'm worried about. Just like I try and do here. Analyze every investment from the good and the bad. Then you can go in it without emotion. And I want to make sure everybody coming in the Discord knows that. Do not come in my Discord thinking I'm just going to hand you a bunch of hot plays and tell you what to buy, and we're all going to pile in and pump and dump it. We don't work that way. We're making sound financial analysis, and I was slurring my words there together. Analysis and decisions. We're trying to use sound financial analysis and make good trading decisions, thinking about the upside, but also thinking about what's our risk. And then everybody does their own thing. You can take the information and keep digging. You can ask questions. But yeah, my Discord is not a pump and dump where I'm just handing out instructions. It's more of a discussion and ideas, maybe things you're not hearing elsewhere. And it's certainly not conspiracy theory. It's the opposite of everything you hear on everybody else's YouTube. Calm your tits. You're being fed a load of bullshit by the flat earthers and the conspiracy theorists. Calm your tits. Let's level set on a solid foundation and make some good trading decisions here. And mostly we do okay. Right, Mediocre?
Yeah, I got to go buy some moon boots and a moon helmet, though, I think, I don't have one for live streaming.
I see Anya. Anya's still here. Dan is still here, guys. Do we mostly do okay, Anya? There's not many people here that are in the Discord, but I see a couple. If I'm lying, guys, call me out. Say Tony is fucking lying, guys. He fucks up every play. It cracks me up, Mediocre, when I hear people that are not in my Discord that hate me publish false information about what actually goes on in there. You're not really trading. You're not really buying at the lows and selling at the highs. Yes, we are. We are buying at the lows and selling at the highs, and we're doing quite well. Thank you very much.
It's funny, Tony, because not only do we do it with stock, we do it with options too.
Anya says you mostly do okay. Red Dragon says Tony is lying. He fucks up every play. I don't know who this guy is, so he's going to get
probably a joke.
I'm going to give him one chance, and then see,
he's just kidding.
Well, oh, okay. He was this close to getting a permanent.
I figured he was joking, Tony. I could just sense it. You know what I mean?
MotoGP says, "What's my opinion on Stock Mo? Pump and dump, paid promoter." MotoGP. Just go read his video descriptions. He's a paid promoter. Not a big fan. Anya says Disney, Hershey, Anand, good so far. Yeah, I mean, I was trying to think what else have we recently done well on, Anya. I have CVS. We made money on that one. It's not doing so hot right now, but I'm out of CVS. Most Disney we made money on. I'm out of that one. I'm actively looking for some new plays, and when I find them, I'll post them in the Discord, and then when I have time to put a video together, I'll I'll do a video for you guys here on YouTube too.
Anya, how's your energy company doing? Oh, did you hear HE had news the other day?
I didn't hear they have news, but I have alerts set on Hawaii Electric. What was their news, Mediocre?
They completed their
Mediocre.
Farm.
It's at 974.
Is it?
Yes. Look at that. It's below my green line.
Yeah, I got to get in there.
Time to buy.
When the
Hawaii
hell did
Electric
that happen today? Did they get news today?
Let's see.
What the frick? I know they put out news the other day about their solar farm or something.
I've been waiting a long time for this thing to get below $10. I'm going to buy some tomorrow. This is a very speculative play, guys. Hawaii Electric's the one that it caused the was it Kilauea fires? Is that the right city?
Well, they're trying to blame those Lahaina fires on
Lahaina's. Thank you.
But I don't know that it was actually their fault.
So it's recently traded as high as $13-15, and I've been waiting for it to get below 10, just as a speculative play. This is not a load the boat play.
No.
But you could pick up some shares. You could sell covered calls on it at 13, 14, $15. And then you hope that they don't lose their lawsuit and file bankruptcy. That's the risk, that you get wiped out.
Yep.
So I want to be very upfront. I'm going to buy some of this tomorrow, but if they lose the lawsuit that they're in, you're probably looking at a bankruptcy play. So don't overload this one. But we have, we've done some trading on it because of the volatility.
Yeah, see, Sparky's looking at it too.
Well, I asked Sparky. Sparky's a bond trader in the energy industry. I asked him if he could get any industry scuttlebutt for us.
Yeah.
He says they might be getting sued by someone else. I never found much current legal analysis. Let's pull up the CVS chart, Anya, and see. So, yeah, I'm going to buy some Hawaii Electric just for fun. I like to have some speculative plays. CVS I bought back in August of 2023 for 66. I sold it for 76. I didn't quite catch the top. Everybody always says Tony says he sells at the top. No, I missed it by $4. Sorry. But that was a good time to get out. When I bought it, I already knew where I wanted to get out. It hit my target. I got out. Then it tanked. Now we're in this weird period where CVS is it's going to be a longer play now. But
why'd they get smacked so hard though?
Because of guidance, Mediocre. They said that they're going to have some trouble generating the earnings that the market wants to see over the next 12 months, maybe the next 24 months. So you've got to be buying this one as I would only be buying CVS if you can be patient for a 5-year play. It might not take 5 years, but I think if you go in it with that mindset, you'll be okay.
I'm going to have to look into that one tomorrow.
Apparently I did buy some, Mediocre. I'm looking at my notes here. Can you see this?
Yeah.
I don't even remember what I bought, guys. I made a note that I bought some at $54 on May 8th. So apparently I own some CVS. And we're up about, $7 a share? $6? We're up about a little bit over 10%. I can't even keep up with everything, but that's why I put these notes on the chart.
Anya says she still has CVS. She's up 15%.
Anya, was that the one where you asked me what should you do with CVS? And I said, consider taking some risk off, and you didn't quite know what I was saying as I was selling. You got to learn to read between my lines.
MotoGP, I agree with you. I have all the documentation on what you're talking about there. I just didn't want to really say it publicly because the lawsuit's not over yet. You know what I mean? But I agree with you.
Let's see how we're doing on Hershey. This is another recent value stock that I did a video on. I bought it in April at 183. I probably should have sold at 210, but I think it's going to go much higher. Recent highs were 268. It's been coming back down. It's been getting spanked almost back down to where I bought it at, mediocre, 185. But again, when I'm looking at these blue chip value plays, guys, these are the bulk of my portfolio, like 1, 2, 5 year plays. All we're trying to do is beat the index over time. Let's see what news we had here.
I wonder what the options premiums are looking like on fucking HE, Tony. I'm interested.
Well,
I'm
let's
at
take a
cash
look.
on Monday. I could exit my position tomorrow.
Are you holding HE right now?
No. I got 450 puts on AMC.
So for next week, the
Cash secured puts, to be clear, so nobody thinks.
All right, so let's look at the put side.
I'm trying to get an entry into AMC.
You can sell a $10 put for the ask is 60 cents on it, mediocre.
Oh, that's nice, dude.
I know, that's not bad.
Shit. That's for next week?
No, yeah, for next week.
Oh God, 60 cents. Let me do some math real quick. Hang on. Hold on, let me pull up my account real quick. Look at this.
Anya says it was Disney that she didn't sell. I'm going to pull up Disney while we're. I think I have my trading history posted on here, Anya, for Disney. I'm missing some info. I bought down here, Anya, in September, and I know I sold in this run up, but I don't see that I wrote my sell in here.
That's a nice profit, Tony. I think that's more than what I would get in AMC. I might do that next week. This is what we do. I just kind of did it live real quick with my calculator, but that's what we do in the Discord for anybody who wants to know exactly what's going on here. I'm going to have to look at that in the morning, Tony.
The other one, guys, this might surprise you guys, but the other one that I'm buying right now actually is IMAX. What is it? He's buying a. I think that over the next year, IMAX is going to do really, really well. And it's been on a sick little downtrend. I like it better at $13.50, but I've been starting to buy in this $15 range. And could we let's see what the price target for IMAX is from the professionals.
Yeah, see, I knew they did, Sparky, because I read that the other day, but it was trading above $10 when that news came out.
The average price forecast for IMAX is $21.50 with a high forecast of $26. I mean, I'd be in heaven with a $10 a share price bump on IMAX over the next 12 months. Yes, please.
Tony, answer this super chat from Walt. Let's do that.
Walt, the man in the middle. What's going on, buddy? Do you consider yourselves better traders after the AMC GME mania? Have you learned something? If so, what is the most important lesson you learned? What a wonderful question, Walt. Thank you.
Want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead. I gotta think about the right way of saying what I want to say.
I'm gonna give Walt 100% truth. Do I think I'm a better trader now than I was? Absolutely, I do, and let me be clear why. Because the way I used to trade before, um, I was a good trader. Don't get me wrong, but I was more of a technical trader, right? With technical analysis, which I still am a technical trader. I use my technical analysis every day, but I I embraced fundamentals in it, and when you put all that together, you become a much better trader, in my opinion. I'm just going to leave it at that. So the answer is yes on both accounts. It made me a better trader, and I did learn um, because of AMC, GME, that what I actually learned about AMC and GME is buying and holding, in my opinion, does not work. And I'll leave it at that.
If you guys have watched my live streams over the last 3 years, you know that my last 3 decades of trading mostly has been trying to identify companies where I could get a good entry in a profitable company that has increasing revenues and increasing profits and just hold it for the long term. That's like been my last 30 years of trading. The more day trading and short squeeze plays, that for me started more in early 2021. So I don't claim to be a day trading expert or a momentum trading expert, although every day that we do it, we get better. What I learned, Walt, is don't believe the conspiracy theories. Don't listen to 90% of people on social media, and stick to, kind of like what Mediocre said, stick to understanding the financials and the fundamentals, because they can aid you in making good decisions in your momentum trading. Whenever I go in a short squeeze play, or I'm looking at other tickers, maybe I'm not even in them, like let's say a Bed Bath and Beyond. I was in Bed Bath and Beyond. I was lucky. I sold the day before Ryan Cohen on that run up in August of 2023, I think it was. Why did I sell? Because I saw that the price was getting overvalued based on my understanding of the filings, their financial statements, what the fair value price of Bed Bath and Beyond was. And I was like, you know what? I made enough money. If it keeps going up, I'm happy for everybody else, but it doesn't make sense. And I know that over the long term, it's going to get wrecked. And I got out. And the next day or 2 days later, we found out that Ryan sold. So I think that I can think like these guys pretty good. Now, he got out because he had a disagreement with management, and that's what tanked the price. But maybe it could have kept on going. What is the most important lesson you learned? Don't listen to social media. Judge them on how correct they are. Nobody's correct on 100% of everything, not even me. We all make mistakes, but do you learn from those mistakes, pivot, and move on, trying to use what you learned to make your next trades better? I think we've done that, Mediocre, right? We tried the buy and hold thing from 2021 to 2023 in AMC. We saw it wasn't working, and we pivoted, and we're doing just fine now.
Yeah.
That's I think all you can do. Don't get stuck in one paradigm. And if what you're doing is not working, figure out how you can figure out where you're going wrong and how you can change it. Maybe the people you're listening to are not correct.
And if you don't understand the market and you're trying to learn more, right? Strive to learn, right? Like keep trying to learn. Don't give up, because when you give up, you're only hurting yourself. You should, if you're really interested in what's going on, you should dig deep to find the truth.
Bo Jeffers, what's up, amigo? Thank you for the question, Walt. Hopefully that was helpful. And if you have a follow-up question, just drop it in the chat. Bo says, are we bearish on AMC? I don't think we're bearish, Bo. We have different opinions. I know Mediocre and I and many people in the Discord have different opinions. I'm the more cautious one of the group. I'm very concerned about an upcoming dilution, either through an ATM or a debt for equity swap. Just knowing what the company is telling us, that they're very focused on improving the balance sheet and attacking that 2026 debt. So I'm very bullish on Q3 and Q4 box office and 2025 box office. I'm bullish on that, but I still have to look at the balance sheet of AMC and the income statement. And for me, I worry about another upcoming dilution. Mediocre, what do you think? I know you're slightly different in your current viewpoint than me.
I mean, well, before I seen HE tonight, I'm actively working to get a position into AMC, at the lowest price possible. Right? I thought it could get back down towards 350, but I'm not thinking that it can. You know what I mean? I think somewhere between 4 and 5 is a reasonable price for it. That's just kind of what I think.
I would be pretty happy buying at 350 to 4 also. I don't own any AMC right now. Let me put the chart up. I got out of it by accident. Daily chart. Yeah. So I was out here in this run up to 11.88 or $12, whatever it went to. And we're in the Roaring Kitty excitement phase still. I don't really know why we're hanging out in this $5 range, other than it has something to do with the Roaring Kitty meme excitement, which is cool. If it hangs, like I said on my video on AMC the other night, if it hangs out in this range for a few more weeks, I'm okay with buying it in this range. Except
Exactly.
I am worried about more dilution. So that's what I'm weighing. I'm not bearish on AMC. I don't want to buy in at 520 and then just my luck, they announce a dilution and it drops to 350. I'd rather just be patient for a few weeks and get it at the 350. But if they don't announce dilution and we start getting into better quarters with a better box office, then some of my concern becomes mitigated. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? If they didn't dilute sometime around, the next 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, when I know they're going to burn 250 million in cash, likely. If they don't dilute now, then maybe they're not going to. Maybe I'm safe buying at $5. And, even if I bought at 5 and it drops to 350, I can fix that selling covered calls. Right, Mediocre?
Right, and that's
it's not the end of the world.
It's not, and if it's not bearish to think that we're not really going to have a super big run up, even though it could happen. Anything could happen, right? We could have an agreement with the lenders, tomorrow, and then stock would go up, right? Like we don't know what's going to happen, so that's a catalyst, right? Outside of not having a catalyst, I expect the stock not to really continue in any upward momentum at the moment, right? But that doesn't mean it's going to stay like that. Like I think we're going to go up. It's only a matter of time. When is that? I don't know. But I think, again, like Tony, dilution is going to happen. Where it happens, I don't know.
Red Dragon says, once we become free cash flow positive, we should not have any issues. I agree. My ideal scenario, if I could time it perfectly, would be to get the best possible price and then write it into the next 2 years of bullish domestic box office, worldwide box office.
So for an example, just to give you guys an idea of what we talk about, right? A lot of times, AMC, we think AMC may dilute. We don't know that for certain. It's speculation. I'll tell you that right now, right? But is it possible that it could happen? It can happen because the box office is weak and we're going to miss on earnings. So what do? Do you leave your money in there and get hit with the dilution? Or do you move your money to a place where it's not going to get hit with dilution? It's a safer play and you can still generate income. For example, you can go into GameStop at a reasonable price and not worry about dilution. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just about that's what we talk about. Where are we going to move our money to? Stuff like that.
Yeah, I am out of AMC at the moment. I have some, in case there's Roaring Kitty news that makes AMC run up, I have some long call options. So I'm not going to miss a run up, but that's just a fraction of the cash I have available to throw at AMC. I'm just kind of trying to be patient. If they announce a dilution, I'd like to buy when the price gets knocked down 20 or 30%. If they don't announce a dilution, then maybe I'll just jump in here. And if it runs up, I have the call options and I'll be okay. I'll still enjoy the run up. But I'm only committing a fraction of what I'd be putting at risk if I bought shares. Hopefully that makes sense. And yeah, I mean, free cash flow positive, positive net income. If the box office can get to a 10.2 billion, then this could be a really exciting play. I think you could see outsized market. You could see returns beating the market on AMC. This could be legit a $20, $25 stock down the road once they're free cash flow positive and net income positive. Forget about the debt. The debt is irrelevant. If they restructure it, the amount of debt they have is irrelevant. They just got to be free cash flow positive and have positive net income.
And that's what we look for when we're looking for
So,
that.
I mean, this could be a 5-bagger if you're lucky and if everything works in AMC's favor. But it's still early to say that with 100% certainty. Walt says hypothetical buy and hold could work, but you can't have 4 million investors with the same mentality.
The Volkswagen squeeze was something totally different. It was bought by Porsche, who owned the company.
There were literally like 2 owners of that stock, so I don't even like that comparison.
Yeah,
I think Walt's saying the same thing. It's not a valid comparison.
No, not at all.
Walt, you know how it is. There's a couple of these conspiracy people. They're like, look at Volkswagen, look at CMCK Diamonds, look at the squeeze, look at the corruption, look at the squeeze. Not even relevant. Neither one is relevant to any of these plays. But people, they hitch their wagon to a conspiracy and then they dedicate their life to trying to make everything square peg fit in a round hole. It don't work that way in my world. And that is why they hate me, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't confirm their bias. All right, mediocre. We should probably wrap it up soon. Maybe 12 more minutes.
Yeah.
YOLO. Oh no, Dan says I should have bought nickel on that run. Was nickel the one that they shut down the trading and backed out all the trades on?
Yes. That was ruthless. How's that even legal, guy? I don't understand.
Those who have the money, mediocre, get to make the rules, unfortunately. Yeah, that was irritating as fuck. I'm going to pull up I want to see the after hours chart in GameStop before we wrap this up. Throw your best questions out. This is the best inebriated financial truth you're going to get on YouTube tonight.
I took it easy after last night.
Well, I only had 2 beers last night, mediocre. I'm only at 2 tonight. So, and I still woke up at, I think I woke up at 6 a.m. My wife
I had
wanted
3 of them. I was taking too big of sips last night.
My wife wanted to watch a movie last night, so I took a 3rd beer in the bedroom, and we put on a movie called The Hitman, which sounded great by the title. I mean, who doesn't want to watch a Hitman movie? But she's like, "Why aren't you opening your beer?" And I was like, "Well, I already had 2, kind of tired." And yeah, I fell asleep without even popping the tab on that 3rd one. So GameStop ran up to 30.85 after hours, and then retraced all the way back down to, holy fuck, $27. Closed at 28.36. It's going to be an interesting day tomorrow.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say about GameStop. Bring. I should get the guitar out, mediocre. Bring. Don't listen to social media influencers. Bring. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Bring. They're focused on book value, and it doesn't fucking matter. Unleash the fury, Mitch. GameStop's going to do what GameStop does because of news. It's overvalued until we get some guidance from management or news on an acquisition or some investment that generates them earnings. And for all of y'all that love GameStop, start showing me your analysis on return on assets, return on equity, return on invested capital, price to earnings, heavy on the earnings. Show me something other than book value, because that's like 5th grade shit, honestly. No credentialed professional is going to start their analysis on book value unless we're looking for companies where the market cap is under book value, and that's not the case here. So stop focusing on book value. That is a distraction to lie to your audience. And it really upsets me that the GameStop YouTubers are doing this to their audience. It's either purposeful lying or just absolute inability to understand finance and what Wall Street's looking at. GameStop's got a lot of potential. $4 billion on the balance sheet gives them a lot of potential to create earnings, to create value. But that having the cash on the balance sheet is not value. More than $11 book value. That's it. That's all it's worth. You can add a little bit of premium to that for belief in management and investor sentiment, but it's overvalued at $29 until we see change. So for now, it's a momentum play. That's fine. I'm a momentum trader too. I'm in the play for the momentum. I'm not in it for the fact that it's undervalued. That is a lie. Just say,
I agree,
just say I'm crossing my fingers for a squeeze. We'd never have a problem. We would agree 100%. Just say I'm in it praying that Ryan and Larry come up with a good game plan. We'd never have an argument. I'd agree with you 100%. That's a great, if you want to speculate like that. But when you start saying it's worth $55 because every other company on the S&P is trading at 5x book, I would say you don't understand what you're talking about. Those companies are trading at 5x book because they have profits. They're actually trading on a multiple of earnings. The book value is irrelevant. And these guys on YouTube don't know what they're talking about. Andre says, Tony, have you done any financial analysis into Aurora? I don't know, Andre, if you're the first person repeating that or the second person, but Aurora's come across my radar twice now this week. And no, I have not, but I'll try and remember to do that. Keep on reminding me. MotoGP says, wouldn't they be earning like 5% on the 5 billion? The question to ask MotoGP, and that's a good question. They have 4 billion, right? Would they invest all 4 billion, or would they invest a portion of it? They've only ever invested a portion of their cash in a very safe investment like treasuries. You know, if you read the Q1, the one that just came out, they just sold all their treasuries. Why did they do that? So right now, they're not really invested much of anything in treasuries. So you're telling me they just sold them, but now they're going to go reinvest them, all 4 billion? Why did they just get out? That'd be my first question. Knowing that they just got out, why would you think that they're going to reinvest? I kind of think of it like they probably got out because they want to have that cash ready to use for something else, which is a great plan. It's a great plan. But even if we said they invested 4 billion or 3 billion or 2 billion, I've been modeling it to make 5%, and you extrapolate earnings on that, it's maybe a $20 stock. If there was a number better than that, just based on financial analysis, I'd tell you, I'd be making videos about it. But the other thing, we don't know what they're going to do with that money. So just say it's speculating. If you say they could do this and it could do that, I don't have an argument. But that's not what people are saying right now. They're saying it should be trading at 5x book. No, that's a false statement. Nothing should be trading at 5x book unless it has earnings, and really they're trading on a multiple of earnings. You could do a discounted cash flow. You could do a ROA, ROE, ROIC. I'll cover it on a video this weekend. I'm just letting these people keep digging their grave with their nonsense before I bury them. And I'm trying to give them a chance to correct their message. And meanwhile, we're having fun momentum trading it. It doesn't really matter. The book value, the fair value price, we're in a momentum trade right now. Just enjoy that.
You think they're going to listen to you, Tony?
No. Only a couple people will listen to me, and the rest will lie about me and hate me. But I don't care about them. I'm here for the people who want the truth.
That's right.
I know there's a couple of you that want to know what is the smart way to make money on this play, like we're doing over here. These other guys want to trick everybody with fake news, fake information, fake analysis, and buy and hold. They're gonna GameStop's not in a bad position. It's not going to get run all the way down to $7. You don't got to worry about that. But it's at least, if you're trying to trade it and make money, it's good to know what is the fair value, and then what does management need to do to increase Wall Street's analysis of fair value.
Yeah,
that's really what I want to know. When is Wall Street going to get on board with a $30 price target? That's not going to happen until there's earnings. You saw Michael Pachter just downgraded GameStop today. Why did he do that? Because there's no fucking earnings. There's no guidance. He's not being bearish. He's not being mean. He's being realistic. And the second that this company announces a meaningful change in strategy where we can extrapolate some earnings, then you'll get the upgrades. And maybe you want to speculate, hey, I just want to be in early before that happens. Fair plan. Did you do the analysis to see what the price target is going to change to? Because if the price target changes to $30, are you smart to buy at 32? Or should you wait till 20 or 23 like I'm doing? This is all just figuring out what is realistically going to happen and making the most intelligent decisions, not getting caught up in emotion. You can game all of this out with a lot of different scenarios, and you should be, and I will, and I'll share that with you.
2-minute warning, Tony.
But there's just a lot of people doing hocus pocus emotional analysis. 2 minutes. All right, guys, thank you. We love you. Drop your comments and questions down below if you're watching this on replay. If you hate me, say that. Drop an insult if you want so I can block you. If you got something valuable out of this, let us know. This is literally the best 2-beer financial analysis you're going to get tonight on Gamestop. Mediocre, you got any parting thoughts?
Yes, thank you for joining the Clown News Network and watching the stream. We appreciate it.
We're gonna start making that a nightly segment, Mediocre. We're gonna point out who the real clowns are. We need to start doing that.
Tonight I'm not wearing my clown nose, but
we didn't choose the name; it chose us. But since they chose that name for us, we're gonna start shining the spotlight on the real clowns.
That's right.
Thank you, guys. We love you. Have a good night. Good luck in the trading tomorrow. Don't forget, this weekend is Father's Day.
Make that money, baby.
Let's make some money. Let's go. Have a good night.
Good night.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast.